Shauna from Infinity Readings. I'm just kind of lately have been going through some downloads here in the spiritual energy sense of the word. I'm wanting to share them, I guess, with more than just I have a YouTube page, first of all. I'll mention that. It's Infinity Readings and Reviews on Facebook. So if you are not hooked up there, feel free to do that. I have a tendency to go in there first, but I was kind of drawn to go to a wider audience at this point for a lot of what I have here. And information. The last while, I have been going through a lot of ups and downs energetically, and I want to kind of express that. First, I'm going to start with the energy switch. I'm saying switch, but the energy change, vibrational shift that we're going through here, that I've been kind of commenting on all along here. But a lot of this energy that I've been looking into, I've had a little bit of a dip in the field here. And I don't know, I have a feeling that has something to do with the moon. I find it interesting that the solar eclipse that we had, I found it very jarring to my system. Energetically is very much of a stop almost and a reload, and I'm finding this lunar eclipse to be somewhat on a different level, in the same type of way, but in a different, it's hard to explain. But nonetheless, really what I wanted to come in for was to really give my opinion on all of this energetic stuff that I'm getting downloaded with. I just kind of want to spit it out, see if you guys have any opinions or feelings or reactions either way. For the last, I'm going to look at my phone here because I have to look at the calendar. From about the 6th, 7th to yesterday, which was the 10th, very much dipping into the lowest of the energy fields that I can really dip into. I feel like I'm getting pulled away from being able to really access that. And it's interesting because all my life, I feel like I've been pushed down and stifled energetically. So low energy is where I just sat there. And I don't think I was a willing participant in it, but I think I was fighting all along. I just didn't realize it or understand it. And that's really what I feel like is going on here. I feel like there's a huge fight, a war, if you will, going on energetically behind the scenes of everybody's reality of what they feel and sense is really going on, but in the background is really the important thing that we need to fight for. So one of the things that I got downloaded with a while back was the fact that I felt like the universe was really going to split into positive and a negative pole. And I'm thinking, how are they going to do that? How is that going to happen? What does that mean? What does that mean for people and energy? Is that just the energies, or is that people going to split? What the hell? I basically wanted to talk about the energy switch. Now, I'm getting to my point here. One of the points that I wanted to make mention is, or to exaggerate, I guess, for most people are kind of spitting this out in their own way, their own unique spin. Kind of wanted to add my own twist to that. Because all along here, doing readings, I do tarot readings, and right now we're focusing, I'm saying working with these energies, focusing on love, bringing that forward. And then February being one of the most confusing months I think we're going to have for this year in regards to love, because being the month of love, and even that day, I feel like there's going to be a lot of chaos and a lot of turmoil where we're going like, what the hell's going on? Like, this is supposed to be love, da da da, and love is in the air. But I feel like the energies that we're at right now is not really conducive to the love that we need to feel in the future. And so I feel like the chaos is really about stepping us forward into the better part of that happening. I hope I'm not losing too many people here with the way I'm talking, but the bottom line, these energies are going to split. Okay. We're going to have a positive pull and a negative pull, and no longer shall the two meet. So give an example, they say. So an example would be, okay, say you're going for coffee and you're talking to someone and you're going, okay, how's it going? You know, and they got nothing good to say. They're not expanding on anything nice about what's going on with them. They're just cantankerous, mad, angry, spitting out all of that, feeling all of that, and just, you know, abusing all of that. So just bad energy coming forth. And then you're like, okay, you know, you don't feel comfortable with that. You don't want to be with that. And maybe, you know, like before 2012, you just, you drink your coffee, and you just kind of mumble on, you go home, you don't, not only you're not aware of what had transpired there, but you don't care. You don't have a deeper sense of, don't care. He's just yapping. He just yaps like that, da, da, da. And you move on. Okay. But in the meantime, your energy field is picking up on negative energy and attaching, and all of these things are transpiring behind the scenes for those that are unaware. So as we move forward into being more aware of this, right, we're less and less enthused to sit and listen to these people talk and yap about everything that's gone bad in their life, right? So as the energy moves forward, as the time unfolds, you're finding, one, you're having a more of a deeper sense of not wanting to be around these people, and two, you're finding that they're actually not physically in your space. You're seeing them less and less as time moves on. You're seeing them less and less, and you're also dealing less and less with that energy, not only with that person, but all around you. You know, things at work that were going, suddenly they're starting to clear up. Suddenly they're starting to, you know, those people that were just, you know, you didn't even want to deal. Suddenly they're just moving away. They're magnetizing to other places where their energies match. Okay. So this is a lot of what has to do with the fact that these are the poles splitting. Okay, they split in your social circles. They're going to split in your community. They're going to split in your town. They're going to split in your province and territory and da da da. So these energies are all starting to vibrate, and they're starting to feel that imbalance of how do you say, the imbalance, the energy imbalance, starting to feel that on a conscious awareness level that has not been before. So that's kind of the example of how the energy is switching. Now, what's going to happen? Because I've listened to other people's point of view and I've heard things here and there, and I kind of didn't want to dabble into that too much because I didn't want to actually absorb that and take it on as my own opinion. Because really what I was shown was literally the universe splitting into two poles. And here's going to be an earth with positive, and here's going to be an earth with negative, and that's it. They no longer will be able to communicate with each other because your negatives will be all together. And in their universe, as they vibrate, they are going to continue to do what they've always done. Okay. And then the positives will be here. Now, what does that mean? How do you know which one's going to go where? Well, first of all, what are you rooted in? What is your goal? Are you shooting for world peace? Are you wanting contentment? Are you wanting love and harmony in your life? Or are you creating it? If you are creating it and making people and causing, if you're a chaos maker, you really have to get to the root of this. And I think, honestly, I think people that are chaos makers are really not going to understand it. They're just going to continue to loop. It's going to be like Groundhog Day. You know, you're just going to keep looping and looping and looping and looping and really not understanding the whole system. And to a degree, it's kind of like naiveness that can be bliss for them, right? Because if they actually knew what was going on, well, they just don't. They don't understand. They don't understand a lot of the consequences that are going on. They don't understand a lot of the, I want to say primordial, but I don't even know what that means. But the beginning processes of what is right and wrong. There's no understanding here of that. None whatsoever. So there's that splitting. Now this, in my mind, when I talk, the people in the energetic field here, they're talking about, you know, this event that's going to happen. And I don't see it as a particular event, although I could be proved wrong here. But I do see that, you know, 2012 moving forward is really the progression of the event. I feel like it's, you know, maybe in the universal scheme of things, it's an event. It's like a, but we're talking spirits and entities that can look at things over a scheme of thousands and hundreds of years. So, you know, we got to kind of wipe that in the right way. So anyway, when I get into it here, you know, the positive and the negative and the transition that happens, like I said, a lot of the readings that I'm getting, people are saying, well, it's going to happen. I feel like they could be on the verge of you know, because people are going through hypnosis and coming up with these things. And so that it's interesting to me that they're coming up with dates from February to June. And in my correction of that, or not correction, but validation of that, there's just kind of like a check mark going off. Like, yeah, from February to June, there's going to be an intensive situation where people's vibrations are going to increase. And the whole, what was the word? Basically, the realization, the epiphanies, right? That's when it's going to happen over this time. This is really going to be the chaos point. And I say chaos, but I mean where you are going to really have to uproot your life. If you are in delusion of where you know, I'm happy, oh, I'm happy, but you're really not, then things are going to uproot for you. Things are going to be put universally. You know, through some of my readings, I even get feedback that's telling me, you know, I feel like I was universally pushed. Well, guess what? We're needing to go in that direction, go forward, move forward, and do all those things that we need to do in order to get there. Now, in a certain sense, we're being funneled to an entrance where there's only one entrance. And those that are hugely resistant, of course, will not go, will not pass. So is there going to be a place in the middle where we have a positive and a negative and a maybe? And it's like, no, there won't. We're either going to go to the positive, kicking and screaming and having problems adjusting, or we're going to go to the negative. And I do not see that kicking and screaming happening on the negative side. I feel like the negative side is really just going to open its doors and everybody's just going to barrel in there, kind of not knowing what the hell's going on. And that's really the key point here. I feel like all the negativity and all of the bad, chaotic mess is really going to get dumped off. And I know that sounds kind of flippant, like, oh yeah, you know, that makes it easy to say, well, we don't have to do anything or say anything. And I think where we go wrong is we're all trying to change the world. We don't have to change the world. We just have to change the one thing that we are. And we have to do that energetically. And really the key to this energy switch is figuring out if you're a negative or a positive and going in that direction. No. Basically, if you're a positive, I mean, you're going to be, if you're within earshot of any of this information, you're going to be on that rung, right? You're going to be on that rope. Show me a rope, you know, guys climbing a rope up a mountain. We're going to be on that and moving forward. Now, the key thing here, the powers, and I'm going to use this in kind of a tongue-in-cheek way, but the powers that be, the powers that are crumbling, actually, are losing the war at this point are really needing us to be in a negative energy field in order to overpower us. They have to bring us down. So, and I mean, this is I don't think anybody's really delusional about this. I mean, the media, all of that, all of those sources are really adding to the income of the lower energy vibe. Now, that is one of the key things that the positives need to keep in mind is there is an energetic war going on in your mind. That struggle, that's the war that we need to fight. And I think if we're aware of that war and we're aware of what it's trying to do, it's a hell of a lot easier to get through it. So, I mean, that's the way it was for me, because you can fight day by day with depression and anxiety and resentment and that feeling of wanting to just beat the shit out of someone and not really know why it's there. Okay. You're just road rage and office rage and all of that stuff that's going on. So this is really the agenda of that negative polar trying to pull us with it. Now, if you have got any roots in any positivity whatsoever, all you have to do is rise above that, is just see that. Okay, I see there's a positive and negative. They're trying to bring us down. They're using these sources, outside anxiety, outside stress, outside television, everything that is basically blared at you and not blared at you. Things are put everywhere to do this, to drop your happy zone. That's really all it is. That's all it is. That's all we have to worry about is the be happy mode. And then you go beyond that and you master that. And if you can get above that, because it's really that. And I just went through, like I said, a low vibe. And I feel like it was partly energetically. They pulled me down, made me see everything at that level, and then pulled me back up. And it's like, whoa. And I knew when I was in it, I was brought right down. And it wasn't as low, honestly, as I've gone. But all those same thoughts, all those same things. I don't want to be here. I got to give up. I can't do this. All of that was downloaded. And I was like, what's going on? My logic mind is going, okay, this is not right. This is not right. But there was a part of me that was going, just sit here. Just wait. Just wait. You need to see the polar difference here. You're up here, and then you go down here. And we need you to see the dark, because I was really in denial of a lot of that darkness. Didn't want to see it. Didn't want to, what I know don't hurt me, right? But it did. It was hurting me. The fact that I didn't know what the agenda was here. Not that we don't know a lot of this. We're just starting to wake up to a lot of this. A lot of it is just too much information to almost absorb easily and non-stressfully. So I don't want to get into that. All I want to do is focus on the fact that we have to be in charge of our own energy field. And as long as we do this and work to do this, that split will go. What's going to happen? What are the results? That's what I'm getting. What are the results? What happens when this energy splits? You're basically not going to come across the negative vibrations. Those people that get infused from the side saying, what the hell, why are you so pissed off? And then you go home and you're down 3 notches because this dude over here pissed you off, but you were fine until he got there. You're not going to have those interruptions anymore. They're not going to be there. So this is where we're wanting to go, right? The peace. So the peacekeepers are going to want to go there. And the chaos makers are going to go there. And they're going to have fun because they're going to have everybody in the same vibration that they are. So in a sense, they'll go nuts because they'll just really be spinning in that circle and running down the drain. But they'll do whatever they do and accomplish whatever they accomplish. And then there's this Puritan side. And I know it sounds kind of la la landish, but that is what I am given. So that's the information I'm given. Now, I just want to go through my cue cards here and make sure that I didn't forget. Yeah. So they were saying earlier, I was downloading, they're basically saying that over this period of February, March, April, May, up to June, that during that time, you're going to get sudden insights, epiphanies, right? For things that we may have been struggling with for a long period of time, jobs that we were in that we put up with, and then suddenly we're not going to put up with it no more. Relationships, the same thing. Life habits, the same thing. It's like, why did I put up with it? Da, da, da. Epiphanies and changes coming through this time. That's what I see coming. So things that you have struggled with for so long are really going to be taken care of by yourself, not by the universe. You will be taking care of it. You will be making the changes you need to move forward in that way. Anyway, yeah, so epiphanies over this time till June. Now, I did some research online and I found that these people were saying there's going to be a sudden surge of energy. Okay. And I said, well, what if they do get this sudden urge? What if the energy comes and hits? And they're saying, well, there's varying degrees of this. Basically saying that, you know, if you are highly evolved, you will feel it to a degree that it'll be advancing, but you will not feel it on the lower levels. You may have some lower level people that are trying to catch up here, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be kind of stunned. They're going to have like a blurry haze, a dazed out. They're going to have a couple days where they're just really in la la land. That's all I can say. I shouldn't be saying that at this point, but really that checked out feeling where you do not know what the hell, you're kind of just daydreaming, not caring, not absorbing much of the reality, right? Where is reality? That you're going to be in between there. You're kind of hiking up that mountain. And so you can possibly have that for about 1 to 3 days. This can be in and out of your, and it's not going to be like you're going to be this zombie for 3 days. It's going to be in and out. You're going to be functional, but very hazy and very like, but this is really the adjustment, your vibrational adjustment happening. And then, you know, and then after that, you'll move forward. And that's when you're going to make those aggressive decisions. The things that need to go, you're going to see them clearer. You're just going to do it. You're going to make those steps to go in the directions you need to go. So that's going to last from 1 to 3 days. So there's somewhat of an agreement here in the information that I was getting about this kind of blast. And I feel like this is maybe has something to do with the lunar eclipse. And I mean, it just overall, the energies are just right for this. And like I said, I'm not an astrologer, so I don't know, but there's something energetically in that way going along that just kind of brings in. It's kind of like they were showing me, you know, you go onto the beach and you're standing and a wave comes and it kind of splashes up your leg. And you're going, ooh, that's cold. My feet were used to it, but my thighs weren't, you know? So you're like, whew. And then this one's going to be like a tidal wave that just, you jump in and suddenly you're used to it. I'm not saying you're going to adjust and adapt, but you're going to feel, you know, it's going to be, okay, it's done. You know, if you go in slowly, you feel every little inch that creeps up, you feel that. And that's what's been happening from 2012. Right up to this day and past, right? Because we're going to continue to do this. It's not going to be just one big surge, one big tidal wave, and then we're done. We're going to continue. Now, so from February to June, the energies will be finished their process in that time, okay? So instead of the minuscule creeps, right, from February, then we're going to have a jump like this. And then after February, we're going to keep going, but at a slower rate. Okay, we're going to have these jumps, and this is what's going on from February to June. So they will finish their processing in that time. Now, there will be a continuation of increase of vibration and ascension for 1 to 3 years after this, what they're telling me, 1 to 3 years for the completion from the year 2020 to 2021. From October, they give me from October to January, February, and March of that next year, 2021. You want to be done, the ascension, the main part, the main intrusive part of that energy flush should be done by 2021, okay, February, March. And it was interesting because they came in and they told me, you know, you're going to be going through February, and they kind of predicted, and I was going through a flux where I didn't know who to listen to, what to go with. So I wasn't believing anybody up in there. I was being hijacked, I thought. So now I'm seeing the results of that. And not only that, I see the results of other things that they've told me. The pyramids the pyramids falling. And I didn't know what that meant, but I knew it was the conglomerates, the powers that be that are controlling they're just going to start crumbling. And the one thing that they said to me was they're going to go from the top, not from the bottom. You know, usually you'll get the bottom and they'll start digging and you know, but you still have the pyramid on top so they can recreate that. You may get the bottom part locked out, but they just go down and they just keep building higher. So this crumbling that you see happening universally, I mean, we're talking the sex abuse, all of that negative cycle stuff is really going to start getting taken out from the top down. So we will not have any more creation of this coming back. This will not happen again because they're going to be taken from the top down. So all of the roots are going to be taken out. So we're not going to have no more weeds in this garden. They're taken out and they're destroyed. You know, they really will be destroyed. So I'm watching these abuse scandals and stuff, and I'm just shaking my head going, how much worse can it get? And they just kind of go on a lot. So here we go. So this is the beginning of the end of that. For those people that are going to move on, we're going to really rise above. So I don't want to continue going on a negative rant here. I'm going to move on. But basically, I'm going to check my notes here because I really had some things that were downloaded that I really needed to say. And that was between 20 and 2021 will really be the end of the energy flux, okay, in that degree. There may be some creeping adjustments that need to be made at that point, but for the most part, the massive part of the energy switch and like the crackling, they're calling the crackling, the worst part of it is going to be from now to then. Now, the blurry haze, about the 1 to 3 days, these are the people that are kind of on the bottom end of that positive pole, are going to be, you know, feeling it. So 2021. Okay. So yeah, the positive vibration is absolutely vital and required for passage through to the next phase here. And I feel like most people understand that, but I don't think they're downloading that on all levels. And they're going, yeah, positive, sure. But I don't think the war in their mind is being fought with that in mind. And that's what you have to keep in mind. Because when you have that negativity, it's not just a negative thought. It's not just a pissy day. You don't want to put up with that. You need to get rid of that and start cycling into positive in order to move forward. Because it's really vital at this point. And this is really part of my problem because I've lived with, and I'm sure there's a lot of other of us that have been on the dark side of the soul, have been fighting that war for these years. And now suddenly you're coming above it and going, that was what was going on. That's what was going on, you know. And then of course, you know, in the system with the medication and everything, it exacerbates that. So yeah, being in realization that the positive vibration is absolutely vital and required for passage to that positive side. Now, and yeah, I kind of covered this, there was no mid ground. Either you are made up of that 50.1% or you're made up of the other. You know, you will be going one side or another. There's no mid ground, there's no mid haven, there's nothing. You go left or you go right. And really, not to focus on the negative, but that negative pole, really what it is these people that are cantankerous, that are bitchy, that are kind of in that loop. The chaos makers really is what it is. That's really what it is. And I've tried to separate myself from that, because those are the ones that will be just continually going. And they're the ones that really aren't going to notice. they're really not going to notice the switch. I call it the light switch, but it just does not happen that quick. But the switch of energies, they're just not going to notice. They're just going to be in a constant loop, and they're going to be so distracted by their chaos, their own chaos that they create. And they will not, because it's a negative pole and the vibration is fixed at that point, you're fixed positive or fixed negative, they will not be able to create a good result from it. They just won't. They'll just be frustrated, and that's where they sit. And in a sense, the universal energy universal energy is going, this is where justice truly resides. Because those that truly create that will end up in that. So therefore, they will be a part of what they create. So it'll just be endless loops of frustration and closed doors for that negative side. Now, there will be increased chaos over this time like as I was saying before, the energies have slowly increased from 2012. Now, from February, and on my page, I'm really dipping into the whole love thing and the Valentine's and creating that forward. Though Valentine's, I think, is going to be a testing time, if you will, for people to try to manage how to be positive, because anything that is not right and just for you or is not made for you is going to start crackling apart. And I will say this, there is a lot of energy out there where we have a negative pole with a positive pole, and they have to separate in order for the energies to separate. And this is a lot of what you'd be amazed at what personal relationships are coming through here through Valentine's. It's just one is a positive pole, one's a negative pole, and they cannot be together when the shift happens. So they have to break apart. And this is a lot of what's happening now. That's what I'm getting. So there's just a lot of positive and negatives that are pretending to be together for whatever reason. These old pattern thinking ideals, way we grew up, you can't leave, that kind of thing. That's all going to be busting apart. If it doesn't, well, it will. They're going, no, it will. They have to, because they can no longer be, it will just create more chaos in that way. So that's really, like I said, it's starting in February here, and it's going to increase until June. And that's really where, and I see, I was like, well, when does this bring us to? Like, when are we going to all be content and happy? And they're like, August, September. Then, was it August, September, February, June? Yeah, like over the summer, past summer and into fall here, that's when the energies start to settle again. It's just a universal, it's a yearly thing. They start to settle. So by that time, you will be well into the contentment and the hominess, because that's what they were saying. It's going to be like home. It's going to be more content than you've ever felt. If you feel uneasy and anxious and anxiety, you're going to get into a place where you are content and feeling it, like you have no understanding of feeling it, that kind of thing. So that's really what's going to happen. Now, there was a question they put forth is like, are you relieved in your life the way that it is, or are you frustrated? Because this is really the key. If you're relieved, then you will continue to go forward and advance in that contentment forward. If you are frustrated and I'm thinking, take a checkpoint from 2012. How has your life changed from that year? Has it been more content, more blissful, more happy, more positive, more enlightening, more hopeful? Or has it been more frustrating, more negative, more problems, more chaos, more Because that really is the predictor of where you're headed. And I really don't think anybody that's here is going to be in denial of where they're going. Because I think those people that are in the negative are just not going to be in touch with any of this. It's just not going to, it's going to be a resistance to it. So they're not going to listen. They're not going to, and it's just that same thing we're coming across. So If you are more relieved from your life, from the point of 2012 up to now, then you will be continuing to go in that direction. If you are getting more frustrated, they're saying there is a checkpoint. This is a checkpoint here. We can move forward. We can change. If we are in that negative cantankerous zone, but we're still listening to these idealizations of that purity of thought and happiness and love, vibration, we can get there. We just really have to, at this point, if we're getting more frustrated, we have to take a time out and really go, whoa, okay, and look. We have to be aware. So that's really what they're saying, is if there's a point here where you're kind of questioning things and you're getting caught up in the negativity, there's absolutely time here to get that going. We got till 2021. But you have to be consciously aware of that fight, the energy fight that you got to have. You just got to keep it positive. A lot of this stuff is very subtle for me. Like I said, I go in there and then I have this plan that I make up, and then the universe goes, wait a minute, hold on. Like they did this last week. They just shut me down and we went down to the dark side of things and we got told what was going on. And I was like, I don't want to see this. It's not like they're saying, no, you have to see it. It's just being shown. You just get downloaded this stuff and then away you go. Then, and the thing was, I had a fear of the information, but I didn't realize how freeing it actually was once I got in there. So I have to watch, because it does pull quite quickly, pulls you down. And then if you don't have nobody around you to pull you back out, you can have a tough time, right? So thankfully, the energies are pretty, we're trying to be faithful to each other here, these energies. I'm trying to muster it out myself. But in the meantime, anybody that's been attached to the readings, I want to say thank you. I had a big video clip that I said my thank yous to for the last series here, for the Valentine's series, and it got lost in translation. So I just want to say again, thank you for everybody and their comments, their likes, shares, if you share it. I appreciate the energy you guys give me, and I feel like I've got a great depth of following, meaning these people, I may not have many, but I have a lot of depth within the people that are here, a lot of clear understanding of where we are and where we're needing to go. So I appreciate that on a high degree. Some days it brings me to tears because I just feel it. You get a comment, you leave the comment, and then you feel through that person how much it did actually help. But if you don't comment, I don't get connected to that energy field. So it's like, whoa, okay, yeah, that affected that person deeply, or that person got it, but maybe they didn't get it. A lot of those things. So just wanted to say thank you for all of that. I mean, it's been a year now, and I've what a trip, up and down, it's constantly, but I'm glad I'm here in the place that I am at this point. So it's all about the love, people. Take care, have fun, and be kind.